Sheo. Warmest greetings, everybody. My name is Omowale Ru Pert-em-Hru. I am the founder of an organization known as the Pan-African Society Community Forum, founded in 2007. So it's almost 20 years ago now that organization was founded, and I'm still the director of that organization as we are now in 2025 going into 2026. So I'm a Pan-Africanist and an author of a number of books. I've authored 11 books in total, all of them related to the theme of Pan-Africanism in some way, shape, or form. Today, I'm just going to speak to a small section of one of the books. Behind me are some of the titles. African People Abolished the Slave Trade is one of them. Pan-Africanism, the Battlefront is another. And the book that I'm going to make reference to today is Pan-Africanism from Program to Philosophy. And I'm just going to focus on chapter 1, or use chapter 1 as a basis for today's brief presentation. And in chapter 1, we look at the African population in the world. And if you can go online now and look up the statistics, it was a bit harder before to get those kinds of statistics. You'd have to go to particular places, but now you can just go online. And Africa has a population of approximately 1.4 billion people. In fact, some sources are now saying 1.5 billion people. If you go to the diaspora and you add the diaspora onto that, you're definitely pushed over to 1.5 billion. Remember, a billion is 1,000 million. Yeah, 1.5 pushing on to 1.6 billion African people in this world. That's significant. That's significant. If you go to Asia, you'll find the Chinese population is approximately the same size, 1.4 billion. The Indian population is approximately the same size, at 1.4 billion. But what's interesting for us as African people is the age structure of our people. You see, in Europe, which has got a much smaller population, the average age is over 40. Something like 42 is the average age of a European. If you go to North America, what I call US Satan, you'll find that the average age is in the upper 30s. Likewise for Asia, it will be average age in the 30s. But when you look at the African continent, the average age of an African at home in the motherland is 19. Understand that. 19. Now, why is that significant? It's significant because the reproduction period for human beings is roughly 18 to 30. And the reproduction period is really the woman's childbearing age range. Roughly 18 to 30. And with us, we have an average age of 19. Those continents that have an average age which is over 30 means that their average woman is no longer in the childbearing range. It means that their population is going to decline. But because ours is 19, it means that we will be producing more Africans for the foreseeable future. And of course, every time you produce more Africans, you start from zero. So that has a tendency to bring the average down. Of course, at the other end, people are dying to change the average also. So you know, what is the sum total of this? The sum total of this is that Africa's population is growing and the rest of the world's population is declining. One projection that I found online anticipated that by the end of this century, there will be, let me see, 50% of the 0 to 5-year-olds, 50% of the 0 to 5-year-olds in the world will be African people. Think about this. 0 to 5-year-olds, half of the whole world will be Africans. Well, what does that tell us? That tells us that in the next century, half the world effectively is going to be African people. Now, why are these figures significant? These figures are significant for a number of reasons, but one of them is that you just can't stop African people. There are just too many of us. And there will be just too many of us to be stopped. And when we look at that growth in our figures, we have to measure that growth in our figures against what has been happening historically. Historically, we've gone through the enslavement era. Some figures show that 300 million African people disappeared from the face of the earth during the enslavement era. There have been genocides against African people ongoing. Leopold, some of you will know about what Leopold did to us. Some of you will know about the genocide against the Herero people. 10 million, 20 million, millions upon millions of our people killed, slaughtered. In the latter part of the last century going into this century, we've lost estimates vary between 10 and 12 million people in the Congo, for instance. In Sudan, 5 million people. Ethiopia, 1 million people. Uganda, 1 million people. And we could go around the continent and see how many of our people have been killed. And I say this to say that there has been a program of extermination enacted against African people. But even though that program of extermination has been enacted, still we multiply. Still we continue to reproduce. And there's a lesson that we need to learn from this. And the lesson is that African people are invincible. Amen. It's very important to understand that we are invincible. Yes, we can be killed individually. We saw the way that they murdered Patrice Lumumba, Malcolm X, and we can go through a series of assassinations. But as a people, we are invincible. Try as hard as they can. And they do try hard to kill us. Still, we multiply. Another lesson to take from this is that we have already won the war of liberation. It doesn't feel like it because we're catching hell. But we have already won the war of liberation. We just don't realize it yet. And those that don't like us don't quite realize it yet as well. Now, coming back to the age structure, one of the reasons why we will win as African people is African people are the youngest people in the world. And old people like me, I'm in my mid-60s now, old people like me cannot control young African people. Whether you're an old African, whether you're an old European, whether you're an old Asian, you cannot control young African people. And why is this? It's because now we're moving into the technological age. Yeah? Now, I've got a mobile phone. If I want to fix something that's gone wrong on my mobile phone, I have to call my grandchildren. I can't even bother to call my children, they'll just laugh at me. But my grandchildren still want to impress me, so they'll come and they'll fix whatever it is for me. So how can I control these young people that know the technology inside out when I know nothing? Just about how to press button, just about, how to press button is about as far as I go. So old people will not be able to control the young people. And so the young people will be predominantly African people. And those African people are going to be the people that effectively rule the world in the next century. So the message for us is to prepare for victory. Victory is around the corner now. We must prepare for victory. We must make our grandchildren, children and grandchildren ready to take a leadership position in the world because it's coming. Whether we want it to come or not, it is coming. Why couldn't China be held down? One of the reasons why China couldn't be held down is because they had a population of 1 billion people. How do you control 1 billion people? It was not possible. So China was able to rise. If you look at India, India technologically has now begun to rise because they too had a population of about 1 billion people. So our time is coming. But what we have that no other people in the world have, in addition to the population, is we have the richest continent in the world. Africa